Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the 4-3 Show's Week 3 of the NFL season preview and NBA playoffs update. I am your host, Ryan Blank. I am alongside Parker Dunn, Pat Fortuna, and Dominic Stern. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Solid.
I'm here.
I'm doing great. I'm loving life. Nothing better.
That sounds sarcastic, but we're going to move on thinking that it's not. Okay, let's get into it. First off, we're going to start the NBA. Billy Donovan has been hired as the new head coach of the Chicago Bulls. What do you think this does for the Bulls and their future?
Wow, you really meant get right into it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That was I think it's a good hire. I like the hire a lot. I think that he's coming out of a situation where it's going to be much easier to coach Chicago. I think that Chicago's a good young team, and I look forward to seeing what he can do with them, how he can develop them.
Yeah, I think sorry, I couldn't tell you were going to talk there, so I jumped in. I think it's a good signing, or hire, I guess you should say, for the more technical term. But I think it's good for the Bulls because they've had some young talent over the years. I think that they've struggled to quite capitalize and develop that talent. And I think bringing in a guy like Billy Donovan could go a long way. We saw what he did with OKC, not only over the last couple of years, but specifically this season. I think that their success, a lot of it played into Chris Paul and his leadership on the court as the floor general he is. But Billy Donovan is a very good basketball coach, both the NBA level and back in college with Florida. He knows his stuff. I think that this is a good move going forward, and I think that was a good move by the Bulls, and we'll see how it pays off for him. 2 or 3 years down the road, since it's still going to take some time.
Yeah, so I don't think this is a bad hire by any means. It's certainly an upgrade, to say the least. But the goal of playing basketball is to win a championship. And when you're an organization as dysfunctional as the Bulls are, and your goal coming in every season is to win a championship because you won 6 with the greatest player of all time and haven't done anything since, their expectation is to win a championship. And Billy Donovan couldn't win a championship with Kevin Russell Westbrook in their prime, along with James Harden for a couple of years, and along with several other players.
No. Donovan was not their coach when the Thunder had Harden or Durant.
He was their coach for the back half. He was definitely the coach when they faced off against the Warriors. And that team was gross, and they couldn't even make it to the finals. So the Bulls, this is a good first step. They definitely have a lot to do with getting the roster better to become a championship contender. But I think with Donovan, they're certainly a playoff team going forward in the Eastern Conference.
What Billy Donovan did this year with the Thunder was tremendous. The Thunder went into straight rebuild mode and got rid of 2 superstars. And what he did by banding that team together of Gallinari, Chris Paul, Dennis Schroeder, Steven Adams, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was insane. That they were they the 4 or 5 seed? 5 seed, right?
5. The fact that they even made playoffs is astonishing. I'm sorry. That's the most ragtag group of basketball players.
I did not think that they were going to make the playoffs. I thought they were going to be one of the league's worst teams. And he did a great job this year. I think it's a great hire for Chicago because they've had a lot of head coaches coming in and out recently. And now they have a great young core. They've got Wendell Carter. They've got Zach LaVine. They've got Kobe White. They've got some very great young talent that I think Donovan can do a great job of developing and get them into the playoffs in the next couple of seasons. Not fighting for a championship, but get them developed to get into the playoffs. Moving on, we'll do the conference finals update, and we're going to start in the Western Conference just to save Pat for a minute, and we'll go into it. Game 1, Lakers dominated and they beat the Nuggets. What else can you say? They just dominated the entire game. Game 2, the Nuggets came back, and it went up to Anthony Davis to hit a buzzer beater 3 to win it and clinch it for the Lakers to take a 2-0 series lead. The Nuggets dominated Game 3 in the second half, almost squandered a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter, but they still held on, and the series currently stands at Lakers 2, Nuggets 1. What do you guys see for the rest of this series, and what have you seen so far?
Well, I'm just going to start off by saying Lakers and foe. It doesn't matter if they lost game 3 or not. They're going to win 4 games of series. That's all I need to say. Anthony Davis, he's going to find a way to bounce back. LeBron, he's LeBron. He had one back game in game 3. He's been kind of pedestrian outside of game 1 of the series. And the fact they're up 2-1 without him, they're going to bounce back. They're going to win the series.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you think last night, 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists is pedestrian? He had a triple-double last night.
Did they win the game?
Pedestrian.
How's that pedestrian?
Just wait. Lakers and foe.
Expose.
All right.
Expose him.
Okay, so with this series, Lakers went up 2-0, but it could have been tied 1-1 after game 2 if it wasn't for the heroics of Anthony Davis with that clutch 3-point buzzer beater. Incredible play design to see LeBron just set the screen and let him take that final shot. When you're a guy like LeBron, you could command that ball in your hands every single time and no one's going to question it. But he trusts his guys. He knows who he has in Anthony Davis as a great duo in those two, and he trusts them. And it sure enough counted. He had hit another 3-point shot from beyond the arc in a similar spot around that part of the court. And sure enough, he was feeling that spot, and they felt confident to give him the ball there. That was a huge play. It really changed the momentum of the series, but the Nuggets were able to bounce back very nicely. They've been resilient this playoffs, and they showed it. They almost blew it, and had they blown it, the series would have been clear-cut. I think Lakers would have ended up sweeping them had they squandered that lead since they had dominated the third quarter. But no matter how you look at it, it was a good job by the Nuggets finding a way to end it. And we'll see what they do. I think the Lakers are most likely going to go on to win the next 2 games. But props to the Nuggets for making it much more competitive than had they just dropped dead and given up that game.
Yeah, I mean, good for the Nuggets. I like this Nuggets team. I know a lot of people are counting them out right now. We can't forget, they took down the Clippers. I mean, they took down. Sorry, it sounds like I'm losing my voice. It's because I am, because I did some yelling a couple hours ago. But I think that they have a shot against this Lakers team, and I know a lot of people are counting them out. And I know how crazy that would have sounded a month and a half ago, right when the bubble started. But right now, I absolutely think that they have the potential, the way Jamal Murray is playing, to take down this Lakers team. I'm not saying they will. I still believe the Lakers will win this series, but it is 100% possible. Like, the Nuggets could win, and I would say, wow, that's crazy. And it's not unexpected for me, you know?
Yeah, like Pat said, you can't count out this Nuggets team. People counted them out when they were down 3-1 to the Clippers and to the Jazz. Came back both series and won. Jamal Murray's been fantastic. Jokic has just been terrific, as he usually is. And, yeah, do I think the Lakers are going to win this series? Yes, they're going to win the series. I picked them to win the finals. But you can't count out this team. I think this series will go at least 6 games. If it went to a Game 7, it would not surprise me. Jamal Murray is playing at an elite level. The team does not know what quit is. They are never out of a game. And I commend them. I commend Mike Malone for what he's done with the team. They are scary. They've got some great depth as well. I really like the Nuggets. And if they were able to come back 3-1 against the Clippers, who a lot of people were saying were better than the Lakers, then don't count them out against the Lakers. Do you guys have anything else you want to add on the Western Conference Finals?
Lakers and foe.
And now we will move on to the Eastern Conference Finals, where Miami took a commanding 3-1 lead tonight with a win over the Celtics. Pat, I'm going to let you start it off and get your thoughts out.
I'm going to be honest, boys. It doesn't look good. Tyler Herro, I've never seen a rookie play quite like that man in the playoffs. I mean, he had like 37 and 36 minutes tonight? Hell, what the heck? What on earth? Can I say hell, or is that a swear? Well, I just said it.
I don't think the FCC is going to come at us for you saying that.
What the hell, Tyler Herro? I mean, seriously, he he balled out. And Duncan Robinson is the most punchable face in all of the NBA. And I know I should keep my bias out of this, but oh my God, they really irritate me, those Miami Heat. And I have a lot of respect for the Heat as a team. I have a lot more respect for them than I did for the Raptors. I don't want to say this series is over. I think Brad Stevens is an incredible coach. I think he could muster something up. In my wildest dreams, I can see a scenario where it happens, but I can see a million others where we lose in the next 2 games. So it's a possibility, but the odds are slim. I really like this Celtics team. I'm glad we get to keep 99% of the next season. I honestly don't think we'll lose a single one of them going into next year. Next year's Hayward's last year on his contract. Everybody else has at least 2 years. So I mean, if we lose tonight, I can't be upset. This Heat team has been on a tear. However, Duncan Robinson, catch me in the parking lot. Tyler Herro, much respect. Eric Spo, best coach in the league.
Well, hold on, Pat. I'm just curious. Doesn't Gordon Hayward have a player option for next year?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I believe so. You might want to fact check me on that. I think you're right. I think he does. He even if he does, I think he'll stay for the last year because that's a lot of money that he won't be getting anywhere else he goes.
Yeah, he has a $34 million player option.
He'll take that. But
also, don't forget, Enes Kanter has a $5 million player option.
Yeah, I'd rather he didn't. I don't think Enes Kanter is that good at all. So Hayward's staying 100%. If he leaves, he's a fool. There's no way he's getting any more than 10 or 11 million anywhere else he goes.
I don't know. The NBA market is way too inflated.
That's kind of wrong.
But yes,
I mean,
he needs to take his $34 million.
Yes, maybe
his value is not $34 million.
Right. Maybe I undershot him a little bit, but he's not going to get that max contract money anywhere else.
Yes, because Daddy is always happy.
Daddy is always happy.
But Daddy is happier when he's getting paid $34 million to play 30 minutes and score 14 points in a playoff game. So it's tough because he used to be such a good player, and he's still talented. You can definitely still see it.
He almost looks, and it's sad because this year he was kind of overshadowed because this is such a strong Celtics team, but he looked about as good as he did his last year in Utah this year. I mean, if you compare the stats, if you compare the way he played his play style, I mean, he looked like prime Gordon Hayward this year, but it kind of got overshadowed by the fact that we have Jason Tatum, the fact that we have Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, all of those stars. It makes it hard for him to shine out. Anyway, Celtics in 7.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Well, this is a series where my prediction was Miami in 6. I think it can still happen. I feel like the Celtics will probably take one in Game 5, and then it'll lead to Game 6, where I think Miami will inevitably close out the series. This is a team in Miami that I just love watching them play because they play so well together because, you know, you can look at Jimmy Butler, you can look at Goran Dragic, you can look at Tyler Hero if you want, but, like, there's no bona fide top 5 player in this league. There's no legitimate elite top level talent. There's just a lot of really good, consistent players who know how to play well together, and you're never going to typically get a huge performance from just one. Obviously, Hero went crazy tonight for 37, but that's not how this team has been winning. It's been a very even scoring disparity throughout each player on the box score. I remember, I think it was in the second round, they had gone like back-to-back games where it was 7 players who scored 10 or more points. I mean, you just typically don't see that with an NBA team. This team knows how to pass the rock around. They know how to play zone defense where they're consistently moving, they're changing, they're communicating. And it just seems like they really play basketball the right way. And I think Eric Spoelstra is definitely a key contributor to that. I think that the foundation that he's set for Miami is set to make them good for a very long time, because although they do have some aging vets, they have a lot of young talent with guys like Hero, Robinson, Kendrick Nunn. Nunn's definitely been more quiet in the playoffs.
He has been very quiet.
But, you know, he's a guy where, you know, you can get some scoring from him. He can distribute the rock pretty well. So to see everyone else stepping up is huge.
Well, I would like to not challenge what you said, but go off of what you said. I think that the Celtics in general are a deeper team than the Miami Heat. I think that we have, end of the day, more role players, more people who can get the ball and get the job done than the Miami Heat do. Because the Miami Heat have that solid starting five. They knew who they're starting, right? We always have that question of, oh, who do we want to start tonight? That's such a good feeling as a team. I know who I'd like to have start every night. But you also mentioned the Heat not having any players who are like their standout stars.
Yeah.
Or they don't have like a top five, like
Jimmy
a LeBron
Butler
or an AD.
would be
Right.
that guy.
So
but, you know.
I'd almost make the argument. I wouldn't make the argument. You could hear the argument, and I'm sorry, I don't want to get caught up on this for too long, that Jimmy Butler is a top 5 player in the NBA. You could hear that argument, which I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'd be willing to field people making that argument towards me because he has been the X factor on every team he has played for.
Yeah. He's a winner.
He's a winner. Jimmy Butler is one of the hardest, most physical players in the NBA. He cares about nothing more than winning. And that's why I really wanted to see the matchup of Jimmy Butler and Marcus Smart in this series, but we haven't really gotten it. We've gotten a lot of Marcus Smart on Harrow and Jason Tatum on Jimmy Butler. So I don't know. This Heat team has really come out and shocked me. I didn't even expect to see him make it this far. So this is incredible.
Yeah, that's the thing with Jimmy Butler. He's such a likable guy to me as a basketball fan because obviously I'm a Warriors fan. So I love the mentality that a guy like Draymond Green has, or for you, Marcus Smart. Guys like that have that mental edge, and they approach everything so differently from a star player because sure, they can't go out there and effortlessly drop 30 and 10, but they're going to be able to do all the gritty, dirty work that really holds the team together collectively. And I think that every championship roster needs one of those guys. And for Miami, Jimmy's that guy. No matter where he played throughout his career, whether it was Chicago, whether it was Philly, his intensity was just at a different level that some guys just can't respond well to because he wants to win. It's his sole focus. We saw it when he entered the bubble. He says he doesn't care about having family members or friends there. He is strictly business. This is a business trip as usual, and he wants to go out there and win a championship. And I applaud him for the way that he looks at the game because to me, he's one of the more entertaining players, and he is also one of the most underrated players in the clutch as he shows up day in and day out.
Yeah, he's got that headband Dom mentality, would you say?
I would agree with that, yes.
If you want to wear your headband, you can.
No, it's fine. We don't need a headband today. And then Jake Crowder only got 3 points in Game 5 tonight. Game 4 tonight. Right? Yeah.
We traded him for
Game 4. Yeah.
We traded him for a reason.
Yeah. So if he gets going, that's just another piece that the Celtics defense has to worry about. And Parker, like you said, the Miami Heat, they're working together as a team better than the Celtics right now. Because Pat, you're right. The Celtics have more talent than the Heat. But when talent works together, it's going to do better than more talent. That's just how sports work, team sports.
Yeah, this Celtics team, I'm just going to say it because it's true. Brad Stevens has been outcoached throughout this entire series by Erik Spoelstra. And it's been evident. Spoelstra's made those adjustments. He's made those maneuvers to where they can come back from deficits like they did in the first 3 games. The Celtics, I don't get it. They had played so well in their first and second series, and now they continue to give up leads. They continue to play sloppy basketball. In the fourth quarter, I think alone they had 8 or 9 turnovers compared to Miami's 1 or 2. You can't go a quarter of having 9 turnovers.
Yeah, I think we had 20-plus turnovers tonight or something like that.
You got to take care of the ball.
Around that, yeah.
You got to take care of the basketball when you have it. And the Celtics haven't been able to do that. Pat, I can see the Celtics pushing this series to 7 games. I can. The Celtics are that talented of a team, and they have the depth, and they have the star power. They do. I think the one thing that has really hurt them more this series than any other is not having a true big man. Their big man's Daniel Tice, who I believe is 6'9" or 6'10". I don't know his exact height.
Daniel Tice, yeah. Robert Williams is our tallest player. Well, Taco Fall is our tallest player. Robert Williams is our tallest player.
Taco
is our tallest player who gets minutes. But
who's Robert?
Sorry, the Time Lord is our tallest player who gets minutes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Daniel Tice is our
The
starting center.
matchup's fair, though.
Yeah.
The matchup's fair because Bam Adebayo is also around 6'9", 6'10". So it's a fair height advantage. There's no clear-cut advantage in the post when it comes to that.
I also think that when you're watching these games, the Heat are grittier. They're willing to lay their bodies out on the floor. You've seen Jimmy Butler do that countless times. And also the contributions from their role players and their rookies. Tyler Hero was insane tonight. Career high 37 points. Insane.
Yeah, but this game it's not against Daniel Tice. I actually just had one of our viewers text me that, and I 100% agree. It's not Daniel Tice's fault. It's not
No,
Daniel
it's
Tice's
not.
fault that
Not
we
at
have
all.
Bam covering him and he can't grab a board. And also Daniel Tice, I'm not a huge Daniel Tice fan myself. I think he's a solid center, but I think Daniel Tice is really bad at not fouling and then acting like it's not his fault. So Daniel Tice will foul, and this is the classic Daniel Tice pose. He goes, that's his thing. Every time there's a foul called on him, and he gets so angry about it. So no, it's this game isn't Tice's fault.
No, not at all. Not
it's
at all.
really hard.
I still think that Jimmy Butler is one of the clutchest players in the league. He hits those hard shots. He did it again. I'm pretty sure it was a fadeaway to extend the lead to 5 or 7 late in the game tonight. And you're just seeing the Heat have terrific chemistry. I don't remember if it was Parker or Dom who mentioned it, but one of you mentioned it. And they have great chemistry. They play well together. They've meshed well together, and it's evident on the court.
We both did. Just further proves that you don't listen to us.
No, I just don't listen to you.
We both said it though.
We got a lot of sports to talk about tonight, folks.
Yeah,
That we do.
Dom, don't get petty now. But no, this is going to be a test of how gritty the Celtics are because they've got the talent to back it up. But it's the drive and the want to basically be like the Nuggets and not give up or just lay down and die. And I expect the Celtics to put up a good fight, and I can see this series going 7. Do you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about? Not just conference finals, but with NBA?
Well, MVP was Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's definitely worth noting. That's very significant.
Boo,
You
boo,
know, people could say what they want. He was my pick after seeing the season that he had. Obviously, here's the thing with LeBron and MVPs. He's the most valuable player in the world every single season. There's never been a season where he hasn't been, with the exception to last year where he was injured for more than half the season. He is a guy that provides value that no other player in the league comes anywhere near. And although his numbers aren't going to jump off the stat sheet, because that's just not the kind of player he is in the regular season, he likes to save his body for the playoffs, which is the smart approach. He's a guy that is going to help you win more games than any other guy you could take in replacement of him. So I think that he could win it every single year if that's what the award was, but it's based on what you put up for that particular season. And that's why we see other guys winning the award. And that's why Giannis won it.
Let me make my boos more pointed. I'm not mad that LeBron didn't win. I'm mad that Luka Doncic didn't win.
Well, Luka was a very good candidate. He was my leading candidate a couple weeks into the season, but I think he tailed off a bit. And with the NBA and the MVP award, they value team success and the impact that a player has had on that success more than any other sport. I mean, look at Bill Russell compared to Wilt Chamberlain. Obviously, that's going very far back, but he would win MVP awards over him when his numbers were nowhere near as good because his team was better. So I think that definitely plays a factor because you look at the Giannis-led Bucks team, they had a franchise record in wins this year. They were the number 1 team in the East. And with this award voting, the playoffs and I guess the bubble this year doesn't get taken into account whatsoever. So based on that, they got it right. It's just a matter of how you interpret the MVP award as it is.
If Giannis is a foot shorter, he's working at Walmart. That's all I got to say.
You see those jokes? I see those jokes, but it's just the thing. And that's like the thing with the James Harden beef. And I don't want to get too much into it because that's not relevant. But like, it takes a lot of skill to do what he does at his size because to have the coordination he does, kind of like the way KD does, it takes a lot of skill.
He can't shoot a basketball to save his life. Same thing with Ben Simmons. I mean,
yeah, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. And you know why? Because he scores without really shooting the basketball.
But in 5 years in the NBA, if you can't shoot a basketball, you won't be in the league.
All right,
that's something.
The Bucks have zero problems winning games right now. Now, when they get to the postseason, things change. But I don't see why he needs to adapt. The team had a meeting with him. They said, "Hey, we're going to get pieces to surround you, to surround your talents, to help us win games." And that's exactly what they have to do. They can't try and make Giannis transform to what the NBA is. He's already one of the best players in the league. That makes zero sense.
Got to put shooters around him. That's how I think Milwaukee will potentially be successful.
I'm going to say this about Milwaukee. Milwaukee failed Giannis in a way when they let Malcolm Brogdon walk in free agency last summer.
How so?
I think Malcolm Brogdon is very underrated. I think he's very underappreciated. I think he would have been worth the money over Brook Lopez. Because they basically
big man.
Okay.
Hey, they do got Robin though. He got the brother.
I have a very
man.
much love-hate relationship with Brook Lopez because there are times when he should just go down low and post up, but yet he insists on shooting the three. It just does not make sense. It frustrates me.
I can kind of agree with you there. I think that having a big man that's versatile, like another guy.
Oh, it's a huge asset.
Yeah, being able to have a guy that can stretch the floor is huge. But I definitely think that although the NBA has definitely changed because of what Steph Curry has changed as far as how people view the three-point shot, I don't think you can just go full-fledged on board with the fact that you want your center at the top of the key every given play. Because unless he's setting screens, having some pick and rolls and getting some mismatches, that's not the right spot for him to be for a majority of the game.
Yeah, the amount of times I saw Brook Lopez go up from down court, take a three right away from the top of the key was insane. Like, yeah, he's a solid shooter, but he should not be taking 8 threes a game as a center. Like, that's just kind of ridiculous. And I think Malcolm
What if
Brogdon
he can shoot the basketball? That's the thing. We have to get that stigma out of our head that shooting the basketball shouldn't be a thing based on your position. You're going to have to be able to shoot the basketball within the next 5 years, or you're not going to be in the NBA. That's just the direction the game's going in. It's a
and I recognize that. I recognize that. But also Brogdon can
take
shoot.
his shots. And
I think Brogdon is a more consistent shooter than Brook Lopez.
Brook Lopez's nails, dude. What are you saying? Brogdon was such a disappointment.
That's just my opinion. I think that
and it's wrong. It's like statistically, it's wrong.
I think. Let me just say, with the direction the game's going, it's definitely going in that direction. With the 3-point shot's the most valuable attribute of a player.
Since Curry heated up. It's been trending towards that.
I think that for your guards, they absolutely have to be very good 3-point shooters. Small forward, your wing, he's got to be able to hit shots. But once you get to the big men with the power forward and centers, it's nice to have that ability to stretch the floor. But at the end of the day, their role should be down low, because if everyone's just jacking up threes, all of a sudden you look like the Houston Rockets and things aren't where you want them to go.
And we saw how far they got. I just think that.
Anyways, Malcolm Brogdon for MVP.
Funny.
All right. I say we jump on over to the NFL.
No, I have one last comment. But when you're looking at a center that can shoot threes, it's great to have. If he can go out to the corner and shoot a three, great. But I don't think you should have your center shooting 5 to 6 threes a game.
What if he's hitting them?
If he's hitting them, fine. But Brook Lopez, it's very rare when he's hitting 5 out of 6 threes
a game. No, it's a stupid argument. It's like this isn't even on our agenda. This is a stupid argument because it's like saying, because Kevin Durant's a forward, I don't think he should be shooting 5 or 6 threes a game. It's a stupid argument. You can't make that argument based on position anymore.
I'm not going based off the position. I'm going by his percentage of makes.
Hey, Brook Lopez is a 31% 3-point shooter in his career, or 34% in his career, and shot 31% on the year. So
I'm not saying it's based on position. I'm saying by the amount he makes them. I think it's ridiculous that if he's missing these threes, he's still putting them up when he can just go down low and help space the floor out. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
not trying to feel that position argument at all.
He's not trying to create his own shot. The 3-point game with centers is you set a screen and then the defender has got to defend either. Okay, he's gonna pick and pop, and go up to the 3-point line, or pick and roll and go to the paint. That is the future of center shooting threes in the NBA. Is the defender, when they have to defend the screen, they got to say, all right, I got to be able to defend all three ways. The guy taking the ball, the guy that sets the screen going out for a three, or the guy that sets the screen rolling back to the basket. So if Brook Lopez does that, he's a perfect asset for this team because Giannis, he can drive by guys. They have options. The Bucks will be fine, especially if they do what they told Giannis and that they're going to go out and build pieces around him because they know they got him for one more year. If they can make him happy, they can try and keep him. If not, he's going to be playing in the Bay for Parker Dunn's Warriors.
I disagree. Yes. I don't think he's leaving, but that's a topic for a later day.
Let's move on to the NFL.
Yeah, let's move on.
This argument.
Ready for some football?
NFL Week 2. Kind of disastrous for a lot of teams and fantasy owners if you look at it.
Who cares? No one cares about fantasy.
90% of America cares about fantasy.
That's just wrong.
That fantasy football is not what's important. We should be talking about the people who are hurt, not the people who's.
Okay, we're going on without Dom for a minute.
You can't.
There were a lot of big name injuries.
I'm right.
Yeah, this time.
Can you not cut me off?
No, this time he is
right. Can you not mute me?
Oh, no. Yeah, he's right. So that's the one who's
muted me. Why'd you mute me? Why'd you mute me if I was right?
Because I wanted to move on.
Okay, fine. Move on. You brought it up, and I told you you're wrong.
Whatever, Dom. Okay, Week 2, there were over 100 injuries suffered. I'm just going to go down through a list of some of the most notable injuries.
Don't read all 100, please.
No.
This
is rapid fire. Rapid fire. Christian McCaffrey with an ankle injury, out 4 to 6 weeks. Byron Jones with a groin and Achilles injuries. The timetable is to be determined, but he is out for tomorrow's game against the Jaguars. Jimmy Garoppolo and Raheem Mostert. Mostert with an MCL sprain, Garoppolo with a high ankle sprain. Both are the timeline has not been established yet. Jimmy G could, however, play this week. Drew Lock, Parker's guy, rotator cuff sprain, is out 2 to 8 weeks. Washington football team's offensive lineman Brandon Sheriff, knee injury, out 3 to 5 weeks. Tyrod Taylor, punctured lung. We'll get into that in a minute. He is out for an extended period of time, it looks like. Saquon Barkley, torn ACL, done for the year. Nick Bosa and Solomon Thomas.
This is the slowest rapid fire ever. It's been like 2 minutes.
Shut up, Pat. Nick Bosa and Solomon Thomas of the 49ers both tore their ACLs and are done for the year. Cortland Sutton, another Bronco, torn ACL and is done for the year. Bruce Irvin, torn ACL, done for the year. Paris Campbell, PCL injury, out indefinitely. Don't know if it's season entering yet. And Malik Hooker, torn Achilles, who is also done for the year. And the final one, Anthony Barr, torn pec, is also done for the year. A lot of injuries hitting a lot of teams this week. But there are a couple I want to go into real quick. And the first one, Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, This is a weird one.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor was
the most Chargers thing ever.
Yeah, he was slated to start against the Chiefs. And then right before kickoff, Justin Herbert makes his NFL debut due to a team doctor puncturing his lung through an anti-pain vaccination. Yeah. What do you guys think of this situation, and what does it mean for the Chargers going forward?
I'll start first as the former Chargers fan. This is a disaster, and if you know me, you know I'm not a huge Tyrod Taylor believer. But anytime that your starting quarterback gets injured by the team doctor, normally is a sign of things are bad for your organization, and especially for an organization that has just been depleted by injuries year after year after year, despite being one of the most talented teams on paper. And then because of that, they don't perform well and they fail to meet expectations. So they have to leave their city and betray their entire fan base. It's pretty frustrating. And this is a reoccurring issue, and it's not this bad luck thing from the Chargers. They have a problem here. Their trainers suck. It's unbelievable how bad this team has messed the situation up. Now, I think Herbert actually looked pretty good, and I think that's a good sign of things to come for the Chargers. But, man, like you said, this is the most C-word thing to ever happen to them, and I firmly agree with you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Pat. Go ahead. Jump on it.
Okay. Can you just picture say you got a hold on, this is a perfect example.
In the
Say you
visual
got
picture.
Tyrod Taylor's lung right here, right? Hopefully you're watching, right? And then the dude's like, all right, let me get this. like what? How does that work? Dude?
What the
Yeah, can you imagine Tyrod Taylor's like, what the hell, bro? Like, what'd you just do to me? Could you imagine you are a paid professional on the medical staff? Where did he go? You are a paid professional on the medical staff, and Tyrod Taylor is relying on you to start this game, and you just ended this man's season. Well, you didn't end the season, but you might have if Justin Herbert keeps playing good. So I don't know. This is just the most bizarre thing ever. It's not good.
Well, Pat, I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. Anthony Lynn did say when Tyrod Taylor's healthy,
But what if Justin Herbert goes like 3-0 the next 3 weeks?
Well,
they
then
won't.
that's a different
They won't
discussion.
because they're the C-words.
Yeah, this was a really weird one because, I remember me and Dom were together when we heard the news that Herbert was going to start. That these different sources around the league, very credible sources, were reporting it. Rappaport was one of them, saying Herbert's good to go. And I'm like, excuse me? Did I hear that right? Like, why would Justin Herbert be thrown in week 2 after there being no indication he was going to start? And all of a sudden, you hear some news. Tyrod is unable to play because of injury, and then this news comes out the next day that the team trainer, the medical staff personnel, was the one that punctured his lung trying to help him. He did the exact opposite and hurt him. This is just such a weird scenario. The NFL Players Association is taking a look into this. They're going to see if they can get involved. But I don't know. I can't really add too much to it. There's not too many details that I know of other than the fact it was a freak injury, and it was one that, like Pat said, could lead to the end of his season should Herbert continue to play fairly well. That one interception was just so hard to watch. Other than that, he had a good rookie debut against a very good Chiefs team. So I think that if he does continue to play good or even increase his level of play, that could definitely lead to Tyrod's tenure with the Chargers coming to a very abrupt end.
Yeah, Justin Herbert looked great. He really did. And he shocked me. He was great with his legs.
Defense, he was killing it.
Yes, sir. Top 20 defense. Pat, thank you.
Inescapable.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pat. But no, Herbert looked good.
It wasn't
he
a
really
compliment, dude. Being the 17th ranked defense isn't a flex.
It is for me to Dominic.
They were 14th. Okay.
Oh,
yes.
sorry.
Okay. I lost a bet about the Chiefs defense.
You want to double down this year? You want to double down this year?
I already said I don't want to, even though I think that they're not going to be top 20. I'm not going to. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction.
Oh, I was very satisfied with the $20.
Ryan, you can't double down on anything right now.
Yep, that's correct.
I made a bet with Ryan last night that he can't go 7 days without gambling.
Hey Ryan, you want to double down, buddy? Double down?
Funny. You know what? You're too big of a wimp to double down.
Oh, wimp?
I haven't heard the word wimp used since like 2011, dude.
Well, I have to
There-
censor.
There's
Okay.
a word that he would use. I'm 100% confident in that.
I do not have a dirty mouth.
Hilarious.
Okay, we're moving on. Okay.
Okay, we're moving on.
Okay.
All right. Of those
Okay.
injuries,
Okay.
of
Okay.
those
Now
injuries-
we're gonna move on without Dom for a little bit.
Oh,
Parker,
brutal.
this one is centered towards you. You
Okay.
have the Broncos go out and sign Blake Bortles to back up Jeff Driscoll with Drew Lock out from a span of 2 to 8 weeks. Go ahead and start. What did you think of it?
Bortles to Driscoll.
I think that Jeff Driscoll's better than him and should start over him. One, he's more familiar with the playbook and has been there in Denver longer, so it seems like a no-brainer for him to start. But the way I look at it is, if you believe in Jeff Driscoll, since he looked good overall, the only one knock on his stat sheet was that interception. His completion percentage wasn't particularly great, but that one interception was off the hands of Courtland Sutton, completely not his fault whatsoever. So overall, he had a good day in Pittsburgh, and I liked what I saw from him. But when you're looking at guys you could potentially bring in, you bring in a guy like Bortles. I can't help but shake my head. I tweeted about it. I was like, really? We just did this? Are you kidding me? But, that was the move we made. And when I look at it, it just means that he's gonna be the backup, and Driscoll's gonna continue to start until Drew Lock hopefully gets healthy. They're looking realistically at him returning about week 9. They have a week 8 bye. He could be back before that with that rotator cuff strain. But, you don't want to force him along, because this season, although it's still very early on, it's only been 2 games, is a season where there's been nothing but disastrous injuries. So this isn't the right season to force Drew out there a little bit earlier than he's comfortable. It was his throwing hand where he suffered that injury. You want to take your time with him and probably bring him back after the bye, and then he'll go back to being the starter. Driscoll will be the backup, and then Bortles, I guess, will be the third guy on the depth chart.
Yeah, and I think it also will matter where the Denver Broncos are at a point where he's starting to feel better. If the Broncos continue to struggle, and I think we all believe that they're better than the 0-2 team that they are at the moment, then maybe they could bring Drew Lock back a little bit earlier than expected, maybe that week before the bye week or something like that. But if the Denver Broncos continue to struggle, there's no reason in sticking Drew Lock back out there to possibly, 1, hurt himself, or 2, if you're out of a playoff spot, the worst thing you want to do is go 7-9 like the Broncos did last year, or around that. What was the Broncos' record last year?
It was 7-9. It worked out nicely getting Jerry Jeudy, but you don't want to strive for that. You'd rather go either all in and win games, make the playoffs, or have a bad record and get the best pick you can get.
Right. And so the Broncos find themselves in an interesting situation where they're hurt already and they're not doing too well. So they could set themselves up nicely for the future, or they could put themselves in a bad position.
Pat, do you have anything to add?
No, we're 40 minutes into the show. I want to move on. I do feel bad. Yeah. I do feel very bad for the Broncos. I was really excited to watch them this season.
Yeah, the Broncos have been hit with a lot of injuries, especially to Courtland Sutton, who was starting to form a great bond and duo with Drew Lock towards the end of last season. It sucks to see this promising Broncos team actually kind of fall apart due to injuries. But we're going to move on. I'm going to note it. We don't have to talk about it. With the Saquon Barkley injury, Devonta Freeman has been signed to the New York Giants. So whoever cares about that, I know we have some friends who are Giants fans. Congrats on getting Devonta Freeman.
Don't care. Running backs don't matter. They don't. The Giants are better off with this because they'll suck even more, and then maybe they'll realize that, hey, we need to actually get players to help us in the draft, as opposed to a quarterback who's very mediocre and a running back.
Yeah, I think, just real quick, all Devonta Freeman is another player to get injured on that turf. That's
Pat.
Yeah, MetLife. What a disaster.
That's a great segue in what we're about to talk about, because the 49ers just played there at MetLife against the Jets. They play there again this week against the Giants.
Those poor.
That's
Are you scared as a 49ers player to play on that turf again?
I'm terrified. I just watched. That's like storming the beaches of Normandy. How many World War II veterans were like, let's storm the beaches of Normandy again tomorrow? None of them. They just watched all their brothers in arms go down. Blank, why are you literally act like I just ate a child?
I did not think you would make that comparison.
It's literally, it looks like I picked up a child and ate it right in front of your very eyes. No, it's
you would.
These comparisons are too much for me to handle.
No, it's like, no, you just watched all of your brothers in arms go down last week. Why would you want to do it again? That's terrifying. I'd be like, I'll just take the L. You guys can have it. Whatever.
The turf monster is a real thing.
It really is.
Yeah.
My question is, with Jimmy Garoppolo potentially playing this week, do you hold him out if you're Kyle Shanahan?
Nick Mullins needs to start.
That's what I do. I'd hold him out, let him get healthy instead of potentially making it a potential season-ending injury by playing their first, second straight week. So this will be this is not a good time to be a 49ers fan because you're scared out of your minds. But we're going to move on. What did you guys see from your teams this week? How did you guys perform? And we'll go ahead and start with Parker.
Okay. Well, I saw injuries. I saw a lot of injuries. That's the common theme with this season. But at the end of the day, what's so frustrating about the injuries is this team, I knew going into the season had so much talent and could potentially pop off and be very good. But to see them hang in there on the road, which it doesn't hold the same weight saying on the road anymore since there's no clear-cut advantage with the fans. But they had to travel to Pittsburgh and play one of the top defenses in the league, and they held up. They had a chance to have a game-winning drive down the stretch led by Jeff Driscoll, and they're a very resilient group. And it gives me hope for the future because there's so much young talent. They have the youngest offense in the league. There's a lot of unfortunate injuries, especially with Cortland Sutton. I don't want to get into it too much because there was a lot of injuries that affected all the different teams at the league. But the way they described his knee terrified me because they said he tore up his knee. Like they didn't say sources confirm MRI results, torn ACL. They said he just tore it up. And then they later said he tore his ACL and had damage to his MCL. That's a lot of bad stuff in a bad area for an injury. So losing a guy like that hurts for this season. So it's tough to hold too much optimism with what's happened, but the team has been resilient and they've had that next man up mentality for sure.
Let's see. Dom, Pat, which one of you guys want to go first?
Me.
Go ahead, Pat.
I love this team. I know. Everybody said the Patriots aren't going to be the same this year. Cam Newton's washed. Cam Newton's not good at football. I wonder who said that. People in this call. None of you had us winning the AFC East.
I didn't have you winning it, but I was definitely more on your side.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know why?
I said
we
8-8.
good.
I said 8-8, and they get second in the division. Unlike Dom, who had them at third. Just gonna call them out.
I mean, I had them at 7-9, so it's not like I was that
8-8.
far.
Don't act like a hero because you put us at 8-8.
Hey, at least I didn't put you in third.
I don't care. You had us at 7-9. If you don't have us with 10 wins this season, you're wrong. You're wrong. You know why? Because the New England Patriots are here to make a statement. We played a top 3 Super Bowl contender this year. I like how they both just took their headphones off. We played.
I'll listen.
We played a top 3 Super Bowl contender this week, and I will stand by that. The Seattle Seahawks are top 3 Super Bowl contenders. We played them this week, Sunday Night Football in Seattle. Granted, there were no fans in Seattle, and we brought it down to the last play of the game. We looked great on offense, and that was our problem last year. Our defense struggled a little bit, playing one of the best offenses in the NFL. Who can complain? I mean, come on. Patriots 11-5. We'll see you in the playoffs.
I will admit, they look a lot better than what I thought they were going to look like. And I told you that as soon as you got back. I was texting you throughout the game because you went over to a friend's house to watch the game. You guys look good. And I've never been a big fan of the Seattle defense. I thought they'd be a little bit better this year with Jamal Adams, a little extra secondary help. I might be wrong. They've been pretty much manhandled when it comes to getting beat through the air so far. But you guys look good. Your schedule's tough. It's a tough schedule. First place schedule with a team that I personally still stand by it. Got worse over the offseason. And you certainly look like you've been upgraded the quarterback position. 110%.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I say something real quick that a lot of people might consider sacrilegious in the New England province? Cam Newton's an upgrade from Tom Brady, man.
Well, this version of Tom Brady, 110%.
This version of Tom
This
Brady.
version.
As a quarterback, as a legacy player, as a career player, absolutely not. However, this version of Tom Brady, I'm watching him play in Tampa Bay right now, and I'm like, oh man, it's the Cam Newton era, baby. Let's freaking go.
There you
I
go.
will say
Much
this:
better.
Cam Newton's looked really good. He's
Cam
looked really
Newton,
good.
Parker, you know what? I wish I could give you a big old sloppy kiss right now, buddy. You know why? Because you picked Cam Newton as comeback player of the year.
That
That's
I
my
did.
guy.
Pick's
Superman
looking good.
Cam Newton.
Yeah, and the biggest question was, would Cam look healthy? And he does. He's running the football effectively on that foot. And it looks like he's throwing the ball much better with that shoulder. So you guys look good. You look like a much better team than I was expecting. I'll be upfront about it. That's fine.
Pat, I now expect the Patriots to make the playoffs. They take the Broncos spot. No offense,
Yeah, I
Bunker.
expected it all
They
along.
were going to have that spot regardless. Denver was just going to at first be a different team in the playoffs, which
So-
no longer looks to be the case. But they were
So-
always going to be.
But no, Cam Newton's been very impressive. The defense, despite all of its losses like Hightower and Chung, has looked pretty solid.
However, my Cam Newton jersey arrives in the mail this Saturday afternoon.
The ultimate test.
And this is the
Uh-oh.
ultimate test to see whether or not this jersey curse is real.
Parker, can we cue the Jaws music?
If I had it ready to go, I absolutely would.
Needless to say, I am terrified. And I know it's not real. Like, I know it's just in my head. But oh my God, just knots in my stomach. I am so scared to put this jersey on.
It's funny because the past two Padres games, the Padres have had a very good first inning, or what it seemed. And both times I've been like, man, game's already over. Because we're playing the Los Angeles Angels, who their pitching staff isn't very good. And our offense on paper is very good. In both games we've lost. And my friends are giving me a lot of crap for it, saying that
This is a football and basketball podcast.
This is relating to the point that
I
Pat
was
just
waiting.
made.
I was actually curious where he was going with this.
And so a lot of people do believe in these jinxes, Pat. I hope that
Yeah.
yours, for your case, ends up folding, that it's not true.
Mhm.
But just know that there are those people out there. Thank
Right.
you, Ryan, for cutting me off again. I would take your screen off if I could, but I can't.
Nope, you can't.
All right, how about you, Dom? How did you feel about your
About the Rams this week.
Well, like I said, I was expecting the Rams to start off the season 0-3. The Rams impressed in week 1, and the Eagles looked bad. And I said, hey, I'll take the Rams in week 2. I'm going to overreact from week 1. And it actually looked like I properly reacted. The Rams look like a good football team. They look like the Rams from 2017 and 2018. Now, talent-wise, I don't think this team's as good as those teams. The offensive line, although it looks significantly improved from last year, I don't think it's as good as it was those 2 playoff seasons. But Joseph Noteboom got injured towards the end of the game, adding to the list of injuries. So hopefully he comes back and healthy, because when a tackle decides to get in well, that normally is a sign of good things to come. The Rams look great. Tyler Higbee, he's inserting himself as a top 10 tight end in the NFL, which is funny because a year and a half ago I thought he was going out. I thought that Gerald Everett was the future tight end for the Rams, but Higbee looks like a monster. He had 3 touchdowns on Sunday against the Eagles. The defense, they're impressing. A lot of young, overlooked players that the Rams have drafted in late rounds are stepping up. Jordan Fuller had another great week. I forgot who had the interception for the Rams, but it was a 1-possession game. Went to the ball in the end zone, and he got a pick, and it was a great play. Rams, they look great. The tough matchup with the Bills this week, but things are looking great for the Rams. We run LA.
And we finish off with a frustrating week, to say the least. Chiefs looked bad, really bad. The defense
won the game?
The defense was atrocious. I tackled Dom better than the Chiefs could tackle Josh Kelly or Austin Eckler. The tackling was awful. The coverage was not particularly great, but they got the win, and that's what matters. Mahomes, terrific touchdown pass, Tyreek, great third down 20 run, but Harrison Butker, baby, butt kicker, comes in and saves the day. 2 58-yard field goals to clinch the win. And also, I think it's ridiculous that he had to kick 3 50-plus yarders in overtime for only one of them to count. But it went in. Chiefs get the dub, 2-0, and bring on Baltimore this week. So I'll take it. A win's a win. And
Your offense didn't look very good is what really didn't look good.
the offense got going a little bit in the second half. For the start, they looked really bad. Mahomes had a bad first half, and I think the reason is because this is the worst I've ever seen a Chiefs offensive line look with Mahomes under center. Under constant pressure, had to roll out a lot, made some bad throws because of it. He was under constant pressure for no reason.
Yeah.
It's frustrating to watch that offensive line that was so dominant in week 1 against the Texans play horrifically. Kelechi Osemele, terrible game. Multiple times on 3rd down, called for holding, taking away first downs. Mitchell Schwartz, who did not allow 1 pressure last year, has allowed 2 sacks in 2 weeks. Eric Fisher, he's not playing particularly great. So it's frustrating. The offensive line has got to get it going this week, especially against a very good Baltimore defensive line. But the frustrating thing for me is that the Chiefs, as well as every team in the league, have some injuries. Not as bad, though. Frank Clark, he left at halftime, I believe, with an illness. He should be good this week. The one thing that actually upset me was Sammy Watkins, because that was an illegal helmet hit and should have been a penalty. That was an awful hit. He had to be transported to the hospital. Hopefully he's okay. He went on Twitter, say he's okay. I would be fine if he didn't play this week because of his health. So frustrating game, but the Chiefs got the win. And with that, that'll conclude our team performances this week, and we will go on to the Pick'ems standings update. Tied for first, we have Parker and Pat. They have a record of 24-8. Dom is in third with a record of 23-9, and yeah, I'm still in last at 22-10.
Some things never change.
Hey, but you did gain a game. You had the best week out of all of us. Oh,
yeah, I did gain a game on y'all, so that was great. I needed that, but
pays to pick chalk sometimes.
But hey, here we go. Week 3 Pick'ems. Everybody ready?
Wait, real quick, can I gloat a little bit about my Raiders pick?
That was a terrific pick, so go ahead.
Yeah, baby.
Raiders. I almost picked a double-digit underdog outright win. That would have been incredible. That probably would have been one of the best picks we've had on the show. And they had the ball tied down with 4 minutes left.
Who are you talking about?
The Jaguars couldn't get it done.
Oh, yeah.
And that is the reason I'm no longer in first place. But hey, I had a gut feeling that the Jaguars would perform well. They did. Couldn't quite get it. Happens.
No, the Jaguars have looked shockingly really good so far this year, and with Minshew. But let's get into it. We just brought up the Jaguars and Minshew. They play tomorrow night as they host the Miami Dolphins. Who do we have in this game?
This has got to be the toughest one of the week. For me,
no,
it is
not.
at least.
No,
there's a lot.
This is so hard. This is such a hard game to pick. Are you kidding me?
It's a hard game. There's a lot of great. This week is going to separate the crowd. I'm a firm believer in that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some 9-7s this week.
Yeah, I mean, typically if you can go 10-6 on a given week, that's pretty solid. But
yeah, we all went 12-4 better last week.
I'm so torn. Like on my
I'm gonna take the Jaguars. I'll say that.
That's who I have bubbled in right now on my pick'ems, and I feel like I'd rather just get it wrong than change it right before and get it wrong because that happened to me a lot last year. So I'm gonna stick with the Jags. They were really close to being 2-0. Like it's crazy to think. So I trust them just a little bit more than I do the Dolphins.
I'm going to pick the Jags. You know why? Because the Dolphins aren't that good.
You just cut out a ton, but I get where you were going with that.
Audio was crazy.
Dolphins aren't that good.
I agree with you all, Jaguars, in this one. Moving on to Sunday's games, Chicago travels to Atlanta to take on the Falcons.
Atlanta.
It's a tough game. I think this is the worst 2-0 team against the best 0-2 team. I'm going to ride with the Bears. I think their defense is going to slow down the Falcons just a bit. It's going to be another great game. I hate picking Falcons games. They're so tough to pick.
And Bears. Falcons and Bears are the worst.
I'm going to be on the right side of the Bears game this week. I hope I'm not 0-3 on Bears games.
Are you?
Well, let's see. Who do you got? I got Bears. Parker's got Falcons.
I go last. Pat's up.
Right? Okay.
The Bears haven't steered me wrong yet, but I am 2-0 with the Bears. But I think their magic comes to an end here. I'm going to give it to the Atlanta Falcons this week.
I have the Falcons in this one. That offense looked really good last week. It was the defense. So, moving on, the Rams.
The defense forced a ton of turnovers. I don't know about that.
The defense choked a lead in the fourth quarter. They got turnovers, but when they needed it to perform in the clutch times, they didn't. They choked the lead.
Sure.
So moving on, next game, Rams travel to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Dom, does the 2-0 magic end?
Well, I mean, the 2-0 magic is going to end.
The undefeated magic. Sorry.
Well, undefeated magic is going to end for one of these two teams. I was going to say that, but then you interrupted me as always. I think the Bills at home playing on the East Coast, they're going to find a way to win this game. It's going to be another great game. Like, these 3 games are tough, and even the next couple of games are tough too. I'm going to take the Bills.
Yeah, Bills Mafia for the win, 3-0.
Come on, guys. Rams through and through.
You're taking the Rams, Pat? Okay,
Yep.
I'm taking the Bills. I think the Bills have looked really good so far. That offense has looked a lot better with the addition of Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, who's going to be clamped by Jalen Ramsey.
Okay, Pat.
Well,
Next
am I
game.
wrong?
John Brown. No,
Yeah,
I mean,
they've got
I think
John
you'll be
Brown.
Right. They've got other weapons though. That offense is scary good. I think you're picking more against the Bills. I know the Rams are good, but I hope that Jalen Ramsey clamps. And we don't need to get into that actually, but Jalen Ramsey's a beast. He's having a great season.
Yeah, after signing that huge extension, he should have a great season to prove that he's worth that money. But moving on, the football team travels to Cleveland to take on the Browns.
Tough game once again. I'm taking the Browns. I think their offense looked a lot better. This could be a great game. It's gonna be fun to see the Browns' prolific offense against Washington's really good defensive front. I'm gonna take the Browns.
I'm also taking the Browns. I think they carry over what they did this week against the Bengals. And although it was against the Bengals, they still showed some life offensively, which is where they have so much talent. I expect to see the same result.
I had a hard time picking this one because you know what? I'm really high on the football team, and I shouldn't be.
As am I.
I should not be.
Looking at how the season has started for them, I think they have a very good shot at finishing second in the division.
I think they have a shot at finishing. Well, the Cowboys are probably going to win that division. Yeah. It's probably pretty inevitable, but I don't know. I like the football team. However, I did ultimately end up going with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Browns as well. That offense finally got the ball to OBJ, and they looked a lot better last week.
Yes.
The poop man. Poop man.
Poopy. Uh-oh. Stinky. Smelly poo. Poop funny. Ha 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 ha.
Okay, next game. The Titans travel to Minnesota to take on the struggling Vikings.
Titans, easy.
Give me the Titans.
Yep. I'm going to go Titans on this one.
After the Vikings hurt me last week, no way I'm picking them again. Give me the Titans.
They didn't just hurt you after you picked them.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Oh, it did not stop there.
Hey,
don't worry.
Right.
He's not betting anything this week. You won't have to worry.
It's all right.
It.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good right now.
He's not betting anything unless he proves to us that he's a feeble-minded soul.
Wow. Or you could just call me a degenerate, but okay.
I mean, you are a degenerate, but are you a feeble-minded degenerate or not? That's what we find out this Sunday. If you bet on any of these games, you are feeble-minded.
Oh my God. Okay, Pat. Okay.
Anyways, I've enjoyed my tenure on the 4-3 show. I'll see you guys later.
No.
I'm going on top.
Drop the mic. He's out. Next game. The Raiders travel to New England to take on the Patriots.
This will be a good game, but I think the Patriots will win this one. I think it's going to be good. It's kind of like the Saints game where, like, if the Raiders were to win, I don't expect them to. The Patriots are the better team, even though the record doesn't indicate it. It could happen.
Yeah, this week I'm taking the Patriots. Don't worry, I won't pick them every week. I'm not Ryan Blank, but this will probably be my last week for. Look at how mad he got. This will be my last week for a little while picking the Patriots. So I'm gonna go Patriots this week.
Ryan, am I going to be solo on this game?
I don't know.
I'm going to take the Raiders. The Raiders, man. They looked so good on Monday Night Football.
Just get your Derek Carr appreciation out of the way now.
Derek
don't
Carr
forget.
appreciation. back-to-back 4,000-yard passing season, led the league in completion percentage last year. This man is so underrated, and Ryan Blank hates him just because he wears the silver and black. And I don't want to let that AFC West bias get in the way of Ryan Blank.
Yeah,
Derek
see,
Carr
I won't let
is
it.
good. Yes, because you are a feeble-minded soul. Derek Carr is good. He's not great. He's good. He's going to win the Raiders some football games, and they're going to be a playoff team this year. Talk about the team that's going to replace the Broncos in the playoffs. It's the
that's
Raiders.
exactly what I
Yeah, you're gonna be solo on this game. I'm gonna take Cam in New England.
Yeah.
Give it to me. Let's go Raiders. Raiders. Raiders.
I have found a way to hate the Raiders even more now that Dom picked them.
Oh, it's good.
Moving on, the 49ers go into another trap game at MetLife against the Giants.
Niners.
Yeah, I'm going Niners. Even with all their injuries, they're still a better and more complete team.
It would-
I trust Nick Mullins more than Danny Dimes.
It would also be really funny if the if the New York Giants find a way to win this game without Saquon Barkley, further proving that running backs don't matter. This is also a battle between the Giants because New York Giants, San Francisco, the Giants. Figured I'd throw it in there because I'm clever. I'm a Woody.
Ooh.
No, not really. Not really.
I'm gonna take the Giants this game. The New
Wow.
York Giants. I am. You know why? Because I think if they don't play Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm not trusting Nick Mullins. I'm sorry. And if Raheem Mostert doesn't play, then they won't have Debo. They won't have Nick Bosa. They're a beat team. They are
they are.
beat team.
They still have
They
Jerick
are.
McKinnon.
Take-
Jerick McKinnon's
take-
solid.
Ryan, take the points. Oh wait. Right, I forgot. Can't bet. Take the points in this game if you're a gambling man.
I am picking the 49ers in this game. I trust Nick Mullins more than Danny Dimes. So, next game. Bengals travel to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Who do you guys have?
Philly.
Oh, feed me the Bengals all day. Are you kidding me?
I'm riding with Pat. I'm going to take the Bengals. They look like the better team. They showed me a lot in that Thursday night football game.
Yeah.
I'm a believer in this Bengals team now. Their defense looked good against the Chargers, and then their offense looked good against the Browns. Give me the Bengals.
I'm going to take the Eagles in this one. So that has a split. Parker, looks like we'll be cheering for the Eagles this weekend.
That we will.
Blech. Who wants to do that, dude?
EAGLES Eagles.
Please don't ever do that again.
Eagles fly.
Next game.
Super Bowl 52 champs.
Come on, man. We were just having some fun, and you had to do that.
See, I wasn't gonna go there.
Come on now.
Wow. Shots have been thrown. Okay. Next
Sorry,
game.
you won 53.
The Texans travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Who do we have?
Pittsburgh next. Pittsburgh.
Yep, Steelers.
Pat?
Although I'm not convinced about how good they truly are, because their record doesn't indicate it. They're still better than the
Uh-oh.
Texans.
Pat.
I am taking the Houston Texans.
Wow. All right.
I'm taking the Steelers. I've been the biggest believer out of all of us in the Steelers this year, and I'm going to continue to be. Steelers in this one. Say it with me, Dom. The Jets.
Jets.
Travel
They suck.
to Indianapolis to
They
take on the Colts.
Yeah, that.
They suck.
Hey, how about that Sam Darnold throw?
Sam
Yeah,
Darnold
if
looks
Mahomes-
fine.
If Mahomes did it, every NFL analyst would have done something very.
That's what I'm
gross
saying.
that I can't
it
say
was
live on
one
air.
of it was one of the best throws I've seen in quite some time. Very underrated throw.
Oh.
But yeah, no. But regardless of that, Colts are gonna win this game.
Colts.
Pat?
Colts.
Colts as well. Were you seriously thinking about taking the Jets in that game?
I was thinking about taking the Jets in that game.
Okay. Next game, we have the Carolina Panthers going to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers.
Give me Herbert,
Ugh.
baby. Chargers.
I pray that the Chargers start 0-2 in Kroenke's Castle, but it's not going to happen. Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers.
I'm going to take the Chargers as well. I think the loss of Christian McCaffrey to the Panthers is just way too
Yeah.
catastrophic.
Now, if they had Christian McCaffrey, I'm taking the Panthers in this game. Just making that
Me
clear.
too. Me too. Next up, the Lions travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals.
Cards. Easy.
Yep. Give me the Cards.
Cardinals.
I got the Cardinals as well. Now we have Tampa Bay traveling to Denver.
This is a game where Tampa's going to win. If we were healthy, it'd be a different story, but we're not, so there's no point in even mentioning it.
Agreed. I'm taking Tampa Bay. This was another tough game. The ESPN Pick'em pool says otherwise, but I still believe the Broncos are a good team. They hung around the Steelers, whose defense looks so good. And I think the Buccaneers will find a way to get it done in the altitude, though.
Yeah, I'll give this one to the Buccaneers. I can't doubt Tom Brady in Denver.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Buccaneers in this one. If the Broncos were healthy, it's a completely different game, though.
Yeah.
Next up, the Cowboys travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks.
Keeping the theme going, Birds.
Birds.
Same. Seahawks.
I got the Seahawks as well. We move to Sunday night, where we have the Packers traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints.
Go Pack, go.
This is one where the Packers so far look better than the Saints. The Saints have been not where I would have expected, but I'm still going to take them regardless. I think that they're going to find a way to win this game and move to 2-1.
It's our good friend of the show, Kevin Redfern's birthday. He's a diehard Green Bay Packers fan. It's his birthday on Sunday. So I'm going to say he's going to give Aaron Rodgers a call, and Aaron Rodgers wins this game for him for his birthday. So go Pack, go.
This was a game I had the most trouble picking, but I'm going to give it to the Saints bouncing back against the Packers after a bad loss to the Raiders.
We're split. We're split on households.
Yes,
This
the
is
Vertex
okay.
household is going to win. Okay,
Okay.
moving on. Final game Monday night. The Chiefs travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens.
I'm so excited for this game.
Like I said, Birds. Ravens.
Birds.
Chiefs, baby. This is a
You're
statement
no fun.
game.
He
This is a
can't
statement
pick against
game.
the Chiefs. He never will.
Yeah.
This is the one game where you do.
Nope.
They're-
Nope. This is a statement
How?
game. This is a
Oh.
statement game. After a bad performance last week, I expect the Chiefs to win this game and
Now-
prove that they are still the team to beat in the AFC and in the entire league.
Listen.
Chiefs win Monday night. Put the statement. Lamar Jackson goes to 0-3 against Kansas.
Lamar Jackson is a running back. He's not even a quarterback. He shouldn't even be playing in the NFL right now.
Listen, here's the thing: is you told us coming into the season you would pick against the Chiefs. This
Yeah.
is the game where you do it, and you
Nope.
did it. You
Nope.
are never going to pick against them.
This
They're-
makes
You
the
want to know
most
what's going
sense.
to pick against the Chiefs? I'll tell you right now. Week 6 in Buffalo.
Okay,
Wow.
baby.
Come on.
I
I
knew
mean-
Pat would hate that. I knew it.
Come on.
Anyway, hey, so listen, I can see why you picked the Chiefs, though.
This
I
is
can
a
see the
statement
argument.
game.
Let me talk. Gosh, there you could say that they were overlooking the Chargers in preparing for this game.
They were.
If you were to, well, but you didn't say that. You didn't. Gosh, like you're frustrating to deal with, Ryan. You're blinded by lights of the bias, and
I'm so
I
happy I
think-
don't live with him anymore. Good luck, Pat.
I'm awesome. I clean the dishes. I make pasta. I'm cool.
Oh, is that what Brooklyn tells you?
Shout out.
Dude. Yeah. Dude.
But let me
Yeah.
get into it. But let me explain this. The Chiefs did not look good last week.
No,
This is
their
their
offense looked like
revenge
crap.
game.
There is no revenge game. You won the Super Bowl last
This
year.
is their statement game where they bounce back after a terrible performance. And they will get the win this week. I'm not going to pick the Chiefs in every game this year. I'm not going to. But this is a game where I think they are going to win. Andy Reid, I believe it in my gut, which is pretty big because I'm kind of fat. But I believe he has been holding plays back so the Ravens do not see him. Andy Reid is going to pull something.
No, that's wrong because he had to use his
What?
plays to beat the Chargers.
No, he did not.
Yeah, he did. You
Okay,
guys-
no. Those were scripted. Okay, not scripted. Those are plays that they have run each and every game. Andy Reid has those backup plays ready to go against the Ravens. It's Andy Reid. He's one of the greatest offensive minds ever. And he's going to pull something out, and he's going to shock the Ravens. You really want to get into this?
Yeah, Andy Reid's not that great of a head coach.
Belichick was carried by Brady.
Was he?
No.
It's a joke.
no,
It's a joke.
no.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Chill. It's a joke.
That's one that I can never take lightly, ever.
It's a joke. Chill. God.
You know what wasn't a joke? Andy Reid's overrated.
Ooh,
Hey, do you wanna-
Ryan's
hey, Pat.
blinded by the bias.
No, I'm not. Okay, get out of here. Do you know who really is overrated, though, Pat?
Dude, you
Tony
think
Gwynn.
about the
Tony
no.
Gwynn. Extremely
Suck.
overrated.
That's
I
not
hate
wrong.
you.
You're
Why
not
do
wrong
you-
there.
No, he is wrong. He is so wrong.
Tony
He
Gwynn is
so wrong.
overrated.
He is so wrong. He gets like the 4th highest first ballot Hall of Fame vote percentage in MLB history.
Oh,
Shut
bringing out the
up.
stats. Yeah, they only gave that to
Yeah,
him
because
he was
that's what
dying.
you do.
He passed
No,
away.
he's alive. Hey, shut up. I will. You know what?
Overrated.
No, he's not. He's just not. You're just saying this to piss me off, and it's working.
It
and
is
I
working.
hate you. Yes, because
Free. Rent
it's not
free.
rent free. You
But
have to
for me,
say
it is because
something.
you had to pay me. You had to pay me to live in your head. It's free for me. I made money off living in your head.
And then you bet on the Royals to have a better record than the. You can't
Okay.
stop. Okay, listen.
He said
You-
he said Padres for the listeners out there.
Yeah. You know,
This
I
is-
had faith. Okay.
You had faith, well, because you're blinded by your bias.
No,
Ryan.
not true at all. Not
Yeah,
true at all.
well, not true. Are you kidding me, dude?
So you really think that the Chiefs don't have a chance of winning this game?
This is
You
the
think I'm
best
just
radio
blinded by
I've heard in
bias?
a long time.
They 100% do. They
4-3
100% have a
show,
chance.
never
to win.
disappoint.
Okay, so then why are you attacking my pick here when I know that the Chiefs
Because-
are going to bounce back in this game? They
Because
look
the-
so
Did you
bad.
talk to Andy?
Yeah, Andy and I have our conference call every Monday morning.
That's
mean-
funny. I don't have any friends that overrated.
Dom. Headband Dom. Headband Dom is overrated.
All right, let me.
What?
man.
Hey,
Let me-
yeah, that was a person. That was super personal.
Okay. Okay.
Hey,
So,
let me just
I
let me
love-
clarify.
I
Let me
show, I show way more heart on the court than you do. That's undisputable. And you know what? I don't miss like 23s a game. So I don't want to hear slander. Just because I don't shoot the ball doesn't mean I'm not good.
Dom, you would go 0 for 50 from the field in a season. Okay.
That's
Get
just
out of
in
here.
a season. No. I wouldn't shoot the ball.
Oh, yeah, you can make a layup. You can make a layup. Congrats.
Because
All right,
I
ladies and
know
gentlemen,
that's
thank
not
you
my
for
value.
tuning into the fourth
Okay,
my
show.
value.
enough of you
That's
talking.
not my
about
value.
it.
That's not my value.
Okay, I've had enough of him for this show. He's not coming back. We have our picks set for this week. I am so sorry for such a disorganized show.
Oh, that
Dom,
was awesome.
We were
That was
off
awesome
the rails
radio right
tonight.
there.
I am sorry, everyone, but we have our picks in and ready to go for this week for NFL Week 3. It's going to look weird. A lot of teams without their star players, but it's going to be a great week of action. We've got some terrific games this week. Thank you very much for listening and dealing with Dom specifically and all of us. Have a great rest of your week and enjoy another week of NFL
Are
football.
you really not going to let him back in here?
No,
Yeah.
like I said, everyone, have a great rest of your week.
No,
Enjoy
you got
this
to
week
let him
of
back
football.
in to say goodbye.